Who's next? Jen?
Sure. Jen Dalton with Brand Mirror. I'm one of our organizers, and I work with entrepreneurs and executives on their personal brand.
Okay. Oscar, you're next.
Good morning. I am the new branch manager here at Northwest Federal Credit Union in Vienna, Virginia. This is my second time joining the 1Million Cups morning meeting, and just wanted to thank Justin Wilson. Not sure if he's on this morning from Paychecks. He was the one that invited me to it. I was on last week and thought it was such an amazing presentation, and just the feedback and all the connections that were already being made just sounded great. So I'm looking forward to being part of the network here, the community, and doing my part to help as much as I can.
Awesome. Okay. Aria, you're up next.
Oh, okay. This is Araya Tesfamariam from the current streaming platform. Just like being a part of the community, it's been very helpful. And I'm sorry if I look distracted. I've been trying to find, somebody said empanadas. I've been trying to find your the site so I could order something. You shouldn't have said that because now I'm distracted. But
well, the website address, yeah, well, it's in the deck later. You can see it. Don't worry.
Don't do that to me.
By 10 o'clock, you will have been able to order.
Okay, thank you. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay. Bill, you're up next.
Good morning, everybody. Bill Hoisington. I build websites and powerful web apps and marketing strategy to help promote them. My business name is Airport Jewel. I'm currently rebranding to Web Aptly. And also Oscar, I've been with Northwest Federal for almost 20 years now, and I'm a big fan.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right, Sharon, you're up next.
Hello, my company is Picture This Video, and for the past 20 years, I've been helping business owners better communicate with their internal and external stakeholders through video products. So I'm a video producer and create those, and currently am allowing business owners to do remote recording and live streaming through our services.
Awesome. All right. Next up is Justin Wilson.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin Wilson. I'm an organizer, and I'm also with Paychecks. So we help with 401k, HR, payroll, obviously, and benefits.
Perfect. Rosemary, your turn.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosemary Savino. I'm COO of Gravitate. We are a business messaging and collaboration platform supporting the new normal of how business operates, and happy to power the 1Million Cups organizing committee for Tyson's. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Saul, you're up.
Thanks, Tony. And I know a couple of people from previous meetings. My name is Saul Eisenhower. I am a business manager and QuickBooks professional. I help small businesses keep their books streamlined, help them set up direct downloads from their banks, and help them just basically keep their books clean for small businesses that can't afford to have a full staff. My company name is BCS, and I'm located here in the Tyson's area, and I've been at 1Million Cups previously, and I appreciate you having me back again. Thank you.
Awesome. Dr. Deb, your turn.
Good morning, everyone. I am Deb Cohen. I'm an author, management consultant, and trainer. I specialize in the area of management, leadership, human resources, and I help organizations reach their potential through their employees by training them to be better behavioral managers and skill attainment, and also through research and analysis of what the organization needs with respect to its human resources. Thanks very much.
Okay, and then next up on my list is Phyllis.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Phyllis Simon. I'm a intellectual property attorney. I have a solo practice based in Herndon, and I help small businesses understand copyrights, trademarks, and patents.
Perfect. Mr. Englander, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff Englander, and I'm the CEO of a company called Cumino. We specialize in the cybersecurity area of detecting fraudulent documents as they transmit through the internet. We protect businesses, we protect their reputation, we protect their funds. If you'd like to know more, feel free to reach out to me. I'm online anytime. Thank you.
Perfect. Dan, your turn.
Good morning, everybody. Dan Lender, Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge. I watch vacant and unoccupied homes in Northern Virginia. My clients include those who travel, who go to a second home, or lately, homes that are part of an estate to be settled. The adult children may live elsewhere. The owners of the house may have passed along, and so the net of it is they need someone to oversee the house. So I go there regularly to do a top-down, exterior, interior check to make sure everything's okay, and then provide an electronic report to the homeowner telling them that everything is okay. Dan Lender, Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge. Thank you.
Okay, Dan. Laprelle, you're up.
Good morning. My name is Laprelle Williams. I'm an independent business owner with ACN. I assist with cutting overhead expenses for commercial and residential properties. I also assist with providing services like credit card solutions or security systems, identity theft protection. So, Laprelle Williams with ACN.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so Laura's driving. So let me see. I'll unmute her. There you go, Laura. Go ahead and say hi.
Stop looking,
Hi,
Laura.
how are you? It's okay. I can drive and I can talk. My name is Laura Drain. I used to have a company called Random Words Marketing. I now working for Spring and Tyson's. I help a small business to get connected with the telecommunications. Again, my name is Laura. I working for Spring and now T-Mobile. If you have any questions, visit me at the store in Tyson's. We open tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, great, Laura. Thank you. So, Mayosha, go ahead and say hi.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mayosha. I'm at the T Center. I'm running multiple meetings right now. Nice to be here. And we offer before and after school and summer camp program, and we are actually open under the COVID from 7 to 5:30.
Perfect. Thank you. Alan Anderson, you're up.
Yes. Alan Anderson, I help small businesses with their sales efforts, and as opposed to advising them on how to sell, I actually do the selling for them, for the people who need additional assistance or don't know how to sell themselves. Again, it's Alan Anderson.
Ben, you're up. Ben Gaither. Okay, we'll go to the next person. Mark Green, you're up.
You're off mute now, Mark, if you.
Lower left-hand corner.
No, he's already off of mute. I already unmuted him.
All right, Teresa Black, you're up.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. My daughter was just talking to me. What am I supposed to be doing right now?
Well, just introduce yourself.
Sorry. My name is Teresa Black. I am the CEO and founder of Amore Con Gelato, an all-natural gelato that makes nutritious gelato.
Yes, and we had a wonderful session with you a few weeks ago, so thank you for joining us back again. Next up is Reggie Holmes.
Good morning, everybody. Reggie Holmes with Enthuse Creative. We do branding and design, and I'm happy to be here with you this morning.
Perfect. If there's anybody else I've missed, I apologize. We'll try and catch you at the end, but we are now at 9:02, and I'm going to pass the control to our glorious moderator. So thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm getting ready to put us onto Facebook Live, so give us 1 minute as we turn that on. Just so everybody knows, it's very helpful to share the Facebook Live post. And actually, when Teresa spoke, and it probably had something to do with her amazing gelato, there were over 1,600 views of that video. So the more we share, the better, so we can give people visibility. Come on, Facebook Live. So welcome to 1 Million Cups. If you have not had a chance to log into the app, please make sure you do so. We want to make sure that we get counted and we can report back to 1 Million Cups National. On average, our group has around 30 to 31 people attending, which is fabulous. That's one person below the national average, so we're almost there. Please make sure while we're waiting to go live and start the presentation, you can put all of your contact info in chat. And we do have the chat notes from last week, so look for a link to that as well. I'm just going to refresh the page 1 moment. So if we can go ahead and go to the next slide, Tony. If you have events you would like to share, please let us know. We'll ask people to share them at the end of the meeting as well. For anybody who is looking for events coming up on relaxing or de-stressing, there's an event this evening. There's an event on marketing tomorrow, and then how to know when to get back to business Friday. We do have a Facebook page, a Facebook group as well, and a LinkedIn company page. So what you can do is post any of that information in any of those group pages. That works fabulously.
To our host, just for a moment, John Goldberg has entered the waiting room, just being paranoid about Zoom bombers. Do we know John?
Because he would have already had to have been approved and registered, I would go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you though for asking.
You bet.
And let's go ahead and talk through, one of the things that's really important about this community, and for those of you who are new to 1 Million Cups, there are over 160 chapters across the country. And so we all meet at 9 a.m. in our given time zone from 9 to 10 to help business owners bring challenge questions and give feedback. And we want all of the feedback to be constructive, positive. Justin will actually be moderating when we get to the Q&A section. And so in Zoom, you can raise your hand, let us know if you're ready to, let us know when you have a question, and we'll reach out. We also have organizers watching the chat box also. So please feel free to use that too. And next slide. There are a couple of different ways you can engage. It's really important, again, to keep track of who is able to log in and attend. We send emails every Monday or Tuesday about the upcoming speaker. So definitely log in to the mobile app. Obviously, you can join us on Facebook. And then do share our content online. If you know anybody who is, maybe they have a brand new idea that they want to launch right now. Maybe they want to pursue pivoting. Maybe they want to scale. There are businesses who are scaling right now, even though I know for some folks it may not feel like that's a possibility, but it's definitely true. Any of those business owners are good candidates to have them apply. They can apply at 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. And next slide. So I'm going to turn it over to John. John, if you would talk to us about your business.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jen, and good morning, and it's good to see you, everyone, this morning. My name is John Yu, and I'm with Office Evolution. We're a co-working space provider located in Tyson's Corner, and we're looking forward to a day when we can all come together in person. And but for now, I think the Zoom is working really well. So we provide fully furnished office space and a virtual office solutions to small business owners in a cost-effective way. What makes us different is that we're a locally owned business, and so we understand the importance of a thriving community of local businesses like yourselves. And that's why we love partnering with organizations such as 1Million Cups and other business communities to help facilitate networking, collaboration, and be supportive of our local businesses. And beyond that, we also partner with service organizations such as healthcare providers to offer our members be able to purchase health insurance at a group discount. So we do a number of those things as well. Love to connect with all of you. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. And up next is our coffee sponsor, Reggie.
Well, good morning again. I wish we could all be together enjoying some of that coffee, but nonetheless, I'm Reggie Holmes with Enthuse Creative, and I support the local business community through branding and design services. So I work with companies who may be in that position of getting started to help them figure out, what their brand is, and then how to communicate that through words and through images. So I'm doing a lot of work with helping people as they pivot to develop messaging around that, and then to develop collateral around that as well, that is primarily going to be used in the digital space, so websites and social media content and things of that nature. So if you know anybody that's at that point of wanting to launch that business idea that they've had for a long time, or looking to just get some help with how they communicate where they are in their business and what they want to do going forward, that'd be a great connection. So good morning again, and nice to meet everyone.
Thank you so much, both Reggie and John. We really appreciate your support. Just real quick to go over virtual meetings. Again, as I mentioned earlier, please raise your hand using, if you hover over your name, you can raise your hand. There's a button on participants. For participants, again, Justin, if you want to raise your hands or arms and wave them around frantically, Justin Wilson will be doing our moderating. So when we get to the Q&A section, you can raise your hand, pop a question in chat, or message him privately if you are an organizer and you can't raise your hand that way. I'll try this one more time. I don't know what's up with Facebook Live. Please make sure that you put yourself on mute. We love the background noise sometimes, but sometimes it can be a little bit distracting. So thanks to everybody for staying on mute. Just pay attention when you go to speak and make sure you unmute yourself at that time. So I'm very excited today. We have several past presenters who are coming back to give us updates on where they're at. And so Sheila, if you could kick us off and maybe speak a little bit to your challenge question when you were here last July, and then big takeaways, how that helped, and then what's coming next for you. And if you want any feedback from the group, obviously, please ask that question as well. And Tony, if you can go to the next slide, that would be great. Sheila, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the invite. My name is Sheila Ruffin. I am the boss of Soca Yacht Charters. We are a yacht vacation travel agency that specializes in all-inclusive, stress-free, personalized yacht vacations in the Caribbean oasis. We are a door to door service. When you leave out of your home in Alexandria, where I live, or wherever you are, we're going to have a black car service to actually come pick you up, take you to IAD or DCA. And then from there, you're going to possibly take your own private jet or a commercial flight to the Caribbean. From there, we're going to have a car service to come pick you up and take you to the yacht marina, where you will be introduced to your personal staff, your personal chef, your personal captain, and your personal hostess for 5 nights, 6 days, which will include your food, your drinks, water sports, and much more. And then we're going to do everything in reverse. And when you're sad because you have to come back to the United States, to the Northern Virginia area, and when you reach IAD or DCA, we're going to have that luxury car service to come pick you up from there and take you back home. So last July, I'm trying to remember my challenge question, but I believe it was how to market such a high-end vacation. Like, who should I look toward? Who really is my target audience? And I got a lot of great feedback. Even after several months, I still have my index cards, which I keep near and dear to me. And I just want to thank you all for giving me so many great ideas, from contacting wineries, talking to jet companies, talking to travel agents. And those are some of the things that I've definitely enacted so that I could get those high-end clientele. Of course, with COVID right now, the travel industry as a whole has been highly affected by coronavirus. My first client, which was supposed to go to the British Virgin Islands in July, had to postpone his yacht vacation. He was going to take his own private jet down to the Caribbean, but of course, with everything going on, he's no longer going until 2021. And the same thing with another client. She's going to June of 2021. Jen, what else was I supposed to be doing?
Well, that was awesome. I think everybody who heard you describe that and is seeing the picture is like, oh, that looks really nice. It would be great to get a sense of, how you are trying to pivot right now. Any big news or exciting information coming up? And then any questions you have as far as, is COVID presenting a sort of new challenge question for the short term? Or, yachts are smaller, right? So maybe they fit within some of the laws right now as far as group size and things like that.
Sure. Thank you. Regarding how COVID has affected, of course, the cruise industry is much more affected than the yacht industry. And so I really appreciate Tony. Tony, I love you. Thank you so much for all of your help. Tony gave me a great idea of speaking with travel agents in the cruise ship industry so that they could offer their clientele something more exclusive, something more personalized. And that's something I have been doing. The challenge is those cruise ship travel agents are so frantic right now with having to get cancellations done, having to handle credit card payments, and having to get even their clients that were stuck on cruise ships back home. So I'm going to let that kind of simmer down for them. I've spoken to about 50 of them on the phone, and probably about 40 of the 50 have lost at least 50% of their business. And right now, their major concern is just trying to stay afloat with their current clients. But some of them, definitely told me to keep in contact with them. So probably maybe in July, August, I'll maybe resurface that idea because I think that it's very much excellent. So that very much is a challenge. I just want to give a quick update because I know in last July, I was talking about going to the United States Sailboat Show, which I definitely did. That was October of last year. And that really got my face out there, really got my name out there. From there, probably a month or two later, I've been featured in various media outlets, from Black Enterprise, the Miami Times, to just several different news outlets that I really appreciate them picking up my story and why I have founded this company. One thing that was on the pipeline was I was going to appear on a local news station in the DMV in April, but of course that got canceled because of COVID. And then lastly, my question would be, you know, if anyone could come up with some ideas of how to handle the travel industry, specifically me trying to, you know, assure my clientele, or at least potential clientele, that this is still a viable and, most importantly, a very safe option, other than kind of going to the cruise ship clientele. What would you guys want to hear so that you would feel comfortable taking one of my yacht vacations probably in summer of 2021?
So I'm going to hand moderating over to Justin, and folks, you know, in the meeting, feel free to chime in with thoughts and answers, or if you need to ask more questions to get more clarity, now is a great time. We'll take the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes and give Sheila feedback and ask questions, all of that good stuff.
All right, everyone. So it looks like Talmar had her hand raised. So go ahead, Talmar.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks so much for the presentation. I wasn't here the original time, so it's good to get caught up on you and your business. I love cruises, and what I mean is I love the ocean, and I do cruises because my best friend loves them and orchestrates them and just tells me when to show up, and I love that. So I think the thing that would help me know about and or consider working with you is some comparison, so that I can understand it's an affordable option, because when you roll in cruises, everything gets expensive too. And to counter that in some kind of a marketing effort that lets me know not only is it you know, it's comparable in some way. I don't know that you could make it, but maybe it is comparable in some way. And better yet, you and your family are safe and still enjoying, you know, the opportunity to be connected and enjoying it in a beautiful setting, right? So if you could find a way to find the people that are missing out on their vacations right now and position this as a option that is safer and still giving you that breather and time to be out of your regular home or out of your home at all, that might be a way that you could get people to hear your message. I just don't know the price points, if you can even get comparable, but cruises can get pretty expensive. So maybe that's something.
No, thank you for that. I mean, my thing is, I mean, let's be honest, it's yachting, right? Yachting is more luxurious and it is more personalized. So for me, my company, we focus on the stress-free aspect. With cruises, and I think some of them are changing, but I know you have to add Wi-Fi. I know you have to add your drink packages. I know you have to add water sports once you go to that particular island. With cruises, there's a time limit. If you want to hang out with the locals in the British Virgin Islands, you can only do that for a few hours. With yachting, if you tell me, you know what, we love this local scene, we like to listen to some reggae or soca music, you're going to tell your personal captain, and he or she is going to say, look, you're the boss. We're going to stay here overnight, and we're going to do what you tell us to do. And so in speaking about being comparable, we like to focus on the personalized and stress-free experience as opposed to the pricing. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And that does, what you said does speak to me, because my experience is, you know, we do get the higher level rooms, we do pay for all of the extra ridiculousness. So, but the thing we do miss out on is being able to stay where we are comfortable and happy and rushing. So I do want you to continue on that vein. That really does speak to me as that market, as, oh, wait, I don't have to rush. This is an alternative that's both safer for me and my family because it's smaller, easier to keep clean. It's not as contaminated. And I have the ease of being where I want, when I want, for as long as I want. I love that.
I'll see you in June of 2021 then, girl.
Connie.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions right now? Okay.
I had a comment, not a question.
I saw something in chat, but I'm on my phone, so it's hard for me to like read it. But someone mentioned a question and I couldn't really read it. Popped up on the screen and then went off.
Who just had a? They said they mentioned.
It was just me causing trouble.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just capturing the thought from Talmar around maybe making a one-pager that shows the differences between yacht and cruise and really play up the quality and the stress-free piece and the safety, but things that are even more important right now. Is that fair, Talmar?
Yeah, and we do have a blog post, and I can certainly get that to you all to provide that to your clientele or to your members.
Awesome. And it looks like also Saul had a question. So if you'd like to read your question, Saul.
I had a comment just to her for suggestions. Looks like she's going for the high net worth and the financial investment planners for companies or corporations, maybe some corporate lawyers or high-end lawyers and doctors. I can't think of a better way when all this is over for a bunch of doctors to go, we need a vacation. Or some corporate executives that need to get away as just ideas for her to market to. That was all I was saying.
Thank you. That is perfect. And I'm an attorney myself. So I definitely will have to play into that and using that as a marketing tool. But I did not think about the doctors who are just extremely stressed. So that is a great idea. Thank you so much for that.
No problem. If I didn't know that you were a lawyer, you probably want to go to if you're in Alexandria, so the State Bar, or probably maybe even go down to the Supreme Court of Virginia and maybe talk to them to see if anybody, maybe you can get a small group of judges that want to get away.
I love it. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. And it looks next we have Teresa Black with a question, and then also Rosemary.
Hello, Sheila. I was actually thinking that, sorry, my daughter's in the background having class, so that's what the sound is in the background. I don't think that you need to wait until 2021. I think you have a very good argument that yachting is safe right now because you're only going with the same people that you potentially just live with. I mean, obviously you can go with friends as well, but if you're just taking your family on a trip out to the Caribbean, you don't need to necessarily go into the islands. You still get the snorkeling. You still can get like the beach time. Like if you go to private islands or something like that. Or honestly, you could like advertise the yacht as the island, and that they're able to do the same things they would have been able to do had they actually pulled in from the yacht. You might maybe need to change the pricing a little bit just because you're not pulling into the actual island, or you could just keep it the same and still it's a beach retreat that is completely safe. And so if you, I don't think that you need to necessarily try to compare it to the cruises because I don't think the people going on cruises are the same people that you're going after on yachts. But you can show that it's the safer way to vacation during this time.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate that.
Hi, Sheila. It's Rosemary. It's good to see you come back. It's lovely
Hi.
to hear about your business. I wanted to kind of add on to what Talmar said and then really layer in what Teresa just said. If you can take that blog post, create your comparative, and then advertise. I know when you first came to see us, you were really looking for high net worth individuals to do the yachting. But I think with making sure you cover your costs, slightly lower price point, and emphasizing that it is still the best way to travel even today, and then advertising that. Lots of people are looking online for safe escapes. And if they see something that's safe but physical than an escape, that they may really be super interested in doing that. So you can start your ad copy with, you know, what's safer than your own private island, right, on the yacht. And then your points, like if you know, yachting is more within your reach than you thought, now more than ever, those kinds of things. There's lots of folks that can help you with the messaging, but pulling those two things together might help you to move that forward, especially with, you know, I saw a number of the articles that mentioned you, so that was really nice. Those are good things to put into the ads as well.
Perfect. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Hey,
Awesome.
Justin,
Yeah.
do you mind if we switch to Margarita now, and we'll come back
Yep.
to other questions? Bill, I know you had a comment. If you don't mind putting it in chat, Margarita's just got to get to the factory, and so we need to make sure we give her space to speak up as well. And then Margarita, if you look like you're driving, which makes me nervous.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually pull over and then stay still to do this. Just need to find here a little side street. I'm having so I'm the founder and CEO of Azul Latin Kitchen and Catering. We make empanadas. This is the second update I do for 1Million Cups. I presented last year in about October, and then came back for first update earlier this year. For us, the pandemic has definitely been a very interesting time. We were already on a high growth curve, and okay, here's a place for you to stop. Okay, there we go. Much safer. Okay, so we depended mostly on food service, meaning then supplying empanadas as appetizers or as a concession item to hotels, event venues, country clubs, restaurants, and that of course completely died off. It was over packaged goods line that was taking off, and we were growing slowly as it is much more capital intensive. Well, we had much better margins for food service, and we are also about to start doing some private label, and we're in the process of looking for financing to be able to scale to the level necessary. With so March and starting in February, so we lost a good chunk of our revenue, but our CPG, our consumer packaged goods, that we had the advantage that that started growing. Of course, we noticed an increase of, this is something that's frozen, that's easy, that you can take home. So we started, we pivoted towards pushing that line and scaling that line, and also started e-commerce. That was something that was in the back burner. We also established a number of partnerships with local businesses, for instance, Foodini and Try Hungry, to then have platforms where we can make our products available for people at home. And that has allowed so far for us to I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna survive. We've been doubling the sales of the CBD every month, and online starting to also yield sufficient results to make sense. So we mostly struggled with, you know, cash flow turned off, and we were already really just making it, right? It was just really even. So that lied that fortunately have a great team, and they were willing to, but we have work, right? And we're essential business, so we're still operating. Yes. We were able to keep on working even at half pay, and just received a PPP that then will help us then catch up with those expenses at least. And the reason I got in the car, I have to run out the door just to top it all off, because when it pours, it rains. That's sorry, when it rains, it pours. There we go. When it rains, it pours. So we're USDA inspected a facility. I mean, there's a USDA inspector on site every day, and we work really closely with them to ensure food safety. And there's a very critical and complex regulation to follow. And the person that was my director of operations had some issues. That's the person that was the liaison with USDA, and she quit last week. And so it's been crazy, I have to say, because she took some of the documents belonging to USDA to the facility and hid them. That then would cause a huge problem with USDA not letting us operate, and also keeping us from moving any products and potentially causing a recall. So I've been having to deal with that, had to get the police involved, and it's been quite an ordeal.
Awesome. Thank you, Margarita. Does anyone have any questions?
I would have her contact Sheila and for legal representation.
I might need it. Yeah.
Thank you. It looks like Deb Cohen has a question as well. Deb?
Yeah, it's more of a comment than a question. I specialize in HR, so one of the things that you're going to want to do just to protect yourself in the future is you're going to want to develop some employee policies and policies about who can to what, and what happens when you go out the door. And obviously this person had some issue with you, so you want to think about policies about how people, how either you let people go or what their process is when they let you go. It doesn't mean that you won't ever need an attorney or that things will be perfect, but now's the time to start creating some of those policies, because it's all about the culture of the organization and making sure that not only your employees are safe, but that you as an organization are safe. So that's a comment.
Thank you.
Sure.
Where would one start looking for those documents or putting those together?
So there are, lots of things you can find online, but one place I would recommend is it's called the Society for Human Resource Management, and it is the world's largest HR professional association. And once you join, and I don't know what membership costs these days, probably a couple $100, you have access to a huge library of policies and procedures and information about employee handbooks. They really cater to small organizations, organizations that don't necessarily have either the size to have a full HR person or only one HR person. So they create lots of content and materials. And there are other places that you can look for, but shrm.org, they're a trade association. That's one place to take a look.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So it looks like Talmar has the next question. Go ahead, Talmar.
Margarita, Talmar Anderson. First of all, I am so sorry about your COO. That is unfortunate, and I wish I could tell you that it was an unusual situation. And I know it's a very painful ride for you right now. So try not to beat yourself up on signs or whatever you could have figured out. Get yourself through the legalized issues you've got going on, and then just know that there's a place for improvement. Just like Deb said, there's always opportunities. There's lots of people out there, and don't be afraid to trust individuals going forward, which is oftentimes what a owner will do, is that now they're going to get really constrained to be like, everybody's got to be, tell me everything. I need to know it all. Just maybe, step out into being a little more vetting of people coming onto your team and a little more strategic about who you let into that leadership. There's I mostly wanted to let you know, I'm really sorry, because I know how painful that is to have your leadership team fail you in such a big and personal way, but try not to focus on it too much today. Get yourself and your company through it, and then you can definitely find ways to protect you, your business, and make sure you're only letting in the people that are really on board and ready to work with you and for the company and your clients. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you more.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, and Jen had a question as well, so go ahead, Jen.
So I was telling Margarita earlier that I ordered online this morning while I was, adding all of the stuff to the presentation. And the ordering process was really easy. So my question for you is e-commerce where you're seeing all of the sort of growth right now that helps you through that? or are there other places where we could help or give feedback that would be useful, like introductions to, different organizations, maybe not in the restaurant space, but what are you looking for right now?
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Jen. That's a great idea because so the e-commerce is brand new. We had to rebrand, by the way. I think Phyllis went offline, but that's something I need to wrap up. I had also an issue with intellectual property and trademark, and does change from MasPanadas to MasPanadas. And with that, then came a whole revamped website with e-commerce, but I think it still can use quite a bit of polishing. So any feedback on that one, on the process for ordering, on how clear is what we're getting, cost, branding, all of that would be very welcome and very helpful to me. And then the second piece is, any kind of sales I can do at this point are helpful in keeping us afloat. So of course, if you can help out, kind of spread the word about empanadas, it can be either to go to the website, or we're at this point mid-Atlantic and about to enter actually Northeast. So we'll be available from Richmond all the way up to Northern New York in the next couple of months. So we need people to understand, be aware that this exists. People are not quite used to empanadas as a frozen item that you take home with you and that can be wholesome. So it's spreading the word would help a lot.
Awesome. Is there any other questions? Look like Teresa, you had a question as well about if you'd like to read that question to Margarita. I know she's driving.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot that you're driving. I was curious as to how you're planning on helping customers to know that your new brand name is the same as your old one.
So I did a few things. The name actually comes from a competition. I ran a competition on social media. I had people submit name ideas, and chose one from that, and they won empanadas for a year. And then announced that we're launching a new website. This is our new name, and sent mass emails to people that I was already connected to. So that's been about it. I don't know if you would have any suggestions for anything else I can do to make people aware of the name change and that it's the same product. The branding, the colors, the packaging is practically the same, and the name is still so similar that I think it might not be, people won't have a problem making the connection if it's something they were buying before. But of course, I'm open to any other suggestions on how to spread that word.
Awesome, man. It looks like we have one more question from Saul, and then we will move forward.
Thanks, Justin. I have one more question because it sounds like you put great quality and fresh materials. My question is, how do you market yourself against what people may find in the frozen section of the grocery store? Are your empanadas and other items shipped fresh in some sort of a take-home container, or are they frozen? And how do you market against the grocery store items?
So they ship frozen from our website, and with our partners, they're Try Hungry at Home or then Foodini, they ship fresh. The stores, it's always frozen. That is something how to actually convey that they're a wholesome frozen item when in general there's a preconception that frozen food is not good. I haven't tried to tackle that one too much. So we go by the idea we're a clean label, right? So there's no preservatives whatsoever. We flash freeze. We cook with all fresh ingredients to start with. And actually frozen products, now there's quite a bit of research, actually are the best way to preserve freshness versus things like preservatives and make it shelf stable. But there's still a huge preconception that frozen is not good, that frozen is more like your TV dinner. And Yes, freezer aisle is difficult. You have these foggy doors and millions of products behind them. How do you actually stand out? I've tried doing so with the packaging. So bright colors and kind of unique design. There are very few items that fall exactly in that space that would be direct competitors. But any ideas you might have on how to further catch people's attention would be great.
Thank you.
All right, and I know Sharon and Rosemary, I know you both have a question, but just to keep time, we're gonna move forward to John Rudenberg, and then we could circle back as well. So John.
Thank you, Justin. Tony, if you'll flip to the next slide. First, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today. Second, I'd like to remind everyone to please check in. There are still, of the 30 some odd we have on, only about 21 or 22 have checked in on 1 million cups. So please do that. What we'd like to do with our remaining time is ask you guys, what is important to you when considering meeting in person? You know, we recognize safety is everyone's priority, and we also recognize that everybody wants to get back to work. And at the same time, I read this morning that in Virginia and in close in Maryland, our close-in metro counties are probably going to be stuck in this situation a little longer than some of the rural areas. So with that, I'd like to open it up and get your thoughts and feedback and ideas about what you feel will make you comfortable, what you feel we should do as we move forward. With that, I ask you to please comment. Don't all jump in at once now.
I think Tom is applauding, but he also is raising his hand.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so good morning, everybody. Tom Scheif, Long and Foster Realtors. I actually am out and about showing property, and I am physically holding open houses, which may be a little insane, inviting anybody to come in and infect me, but I still do that. You know, I mask up and glove up and stay a distance away from them. I think that's the biggest thing, is to be cautious when you're out there. At least that's worked for me so far, I think. And what I've noticed is as we move closer to what we hope will be sometime the end of this process, people are becoming more relaxed. They're becoming more comfortable being closer to you. You have to be aware of that and continue to keep your distance from them, which sometimes they look at you like you're a little funny, but anyway, you know, they do want to move closer, and they don't want to wear their mask and their gloves like they should be doing. So I think we all need to be cautious of that when we do interact with anybody today and or in the near future.
Great comment. Yep. Other ideas? Is anybody ready to jump back into a meeting of 25 or 30 people? I don't think.
Not unless we're outside in a big field and we can keep that social distancing, which now that the weather's getting nice, that can be an option. But I have some friends that have moved from virtual Zoom happy hours to socially distant happy hours because they have big enough backyards. So that's one thing to consider. But Tom, you're right on. People are starting to get a little too comfortable inside your 6 foot of personal space now. Not a bad idea to remind folks.
So I thought Tony was going to ask, but Deb Cohn politely has raised her hand.
So I'm very concerned, to be honest with you, in terms of getting back, because when I went out yesterday, I met a friend for a walk, socially distant walk. We were both wearing our masks. We were pretty far apart. But the people around us were not wearing masks. And so while I can control my behavior, I think I'm concerned about others that can't. So the one thing that I would suggest to this group is that if we are going to get back, then there has to be a set of, I think, fairly specific rules about what people can and can't do. And then I think they need to be enforced, unlike the airlines where, you know, maybe people are wearing masks, maybe they're not, maybe the middle seat is occupied, maybe it's not. Whatever rules this organization comes up with, circulate those rules to make sure everybody obviously feels comfortable, and then stick to those rules. I think the issue we have is not being consistent around this area. You go to a grocery store, it's different depending upon what chain you go to. Or same thing with restaurants. So just pick a process, and personally, I'm not going to be ready to come back for a while, and that's going to be everybody's choice. So you may want to think about, you know, not just being consistent, but also waiting a while before we can get back in person.
Sure. Tony, I think you had a comment. Am I correct?
Yeah, one of the things I just wanted to throw out there, with my experience right now, both with grocery stores and with larger venues and other activities, I've been behind the scenes very active, following a lot of the details with this. And Tamar made a very good point, which is that, and Deb, especially just now, it's up to everyone. And I think that what we are discussing is the idea of doing the online presentation with the presenter, you know, at Office Evolution, and maybe a handful of people who want to come, who are, you know, practicing social distancing, wearing the mask, and so on. And our reason why we're reaching out like this is, you know, one, when do you feel like you'd be comfortable with that? You know, how big of it would it be? But the format we're doing now would still be there for people online to participate and join in. We're reaching out to you to figure out which way, what time, how would you feel most comfortable in doing that? Because when there's the demand to do it, we want to move forward and do it. Right now, Office Evolution does allow people in the office, and we could do it there. But you know, we want to find from you, instead of just making the decision to jump forward. You know, there's so many different factors involved that I don't even want to spend 10 minutes going into it. But if you go to the Fairfax County government and go to their COVID Resource Center, they have a magnificent thing, and I'll post the link up in just a moment, where it details all the details about Fairfax County and COVID. What zip codes are more affected than others, what age groups are more affected than others from the statistics that they're collecting just from Fairfax County. But I just wanted to press that in, and I'll put the link up now.
So I think Sharon Sobel had a hand up, and then Dan Lender.
Yeah, Tony kind of made my point, but I'm going to just build on it a little bit. And that is making sure that people have a choice between whether they want to come in person or whether they want to obtain content remotely like we're doing now. And I just want to add on to that by saying it's something for my business that I am going to be practicing. So I'm currently offering remote recording because that was the only way I could continue to work with my clients, of course, right now. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I could have been doing this before. I didn't have to, so it didn't cross my mind. But it's, you know, I built a kit out. I'm not going to discard that kit when I can go back on site with my clients. I'm going to keep that kit, and there will be cases down the road that it makes more logistical sense maybe for me to remotely record someone so I can mail the kit to them and get them set up that way. So my only supplement is, as we talk about networking groups and our regular business opportunities that we've been doing remotely, I think we should all think about what we're currently doing in our business as a pivot and consider how and if we want to continue that when we're able to gather again.
Great, thank you. Dan.
So my comment is a follow-up to Deb's, in that the new normal has yet to be, none of us know what the new normal is going to be. So, you know, COVID may be winding down, but it's gonna heat back up again in the fall, or it's gonna mutate. It'll be COVID-19 in 3/4. And so what we do will be part of the new normal. So if and how it affects our networking and getting together and whatnot. So it's just not what's happening right now. This will my thinking is that this will impact everything going forward, and so we'll have the new normal. After this immediate COVID crisis winds down, something else will come forth, or there'll be a mutation or something. So what we do now is going to dictate how we, it will play a part in how we go forward. If that makes sense.
Sure. Thank you very much for your comment. Other people, other comments? There have been some comments shared on the chat, so everyone has access to that. I think right now as a group, we're pretty much using Zoom, and I think everyone would love to be together. And as I just see, Talmar wrote, we miss meeting everyone individually, etc. I mean, who are you kidding? We all hate it, but we're kind of stuck in it. Jen, unmute. Yeah.
One of the things that came up earlier, and I know a lot of groups are doing virtual happy hours in smaller groups to get to know each other. I feel like this group is creative and sort of informal, so it's already fun for me, but maybe I'm weird. But I'd love to get feedback from the group on what would you like to see from this group outside of this meeting, right? So if we do want to have get-togethers where we really get to learn about each other's businesses or things like that. Any thoughts on that or feedback or ideas? We could order gelato and empanadas and then get to talk to each other. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll pick up on that for a moment. The Zoom has the capability to do breakout rooms. So we could have sessions where, let's say we're 30 people, and we could have 5 breakout rooms of 6 people for 10 minutes where it's just schmooze time. And then we come back together and then break into the next breakout rooms. And over an hour, we could all meet in small groups to just chat. No topic, no structure, just get to know each other better, just as an option. And that could be not necessarily in place of our Wednesday mornings, but maybe as a supplement to them.
John, I think that's a good idea. I might explore maybe some options to that, which would be in some of those breakout groups have actually a topic where people might be interested. And I would do that as a supplement to these weekly meetings, because I don't want to see anybody. I really like the idea of helping somebody with their business. And so I don't necessarily want to see that go away. But we could have, we could put out sort of a lunch and learn kind of concept where, people are eating their gelato and their empanadas and having a conversation about, could be marketing, could be leadership, could be, whatever people might need, and people could submit some topics. So that could be a creative way that we could get to know each other a little bit better and limit those conversations to, 5 or 8 people so that there really is a chance to have a good dialogue.
Now, another possibility we could do is, and this is one thing that a friend of mine is trying to set up too, we could do it as well, which is we do something totally frivolous and everybody who joins has to have a joke and they get 2 minutes to tell their joke. And we go through and we have 30 people, that's an hour of just nonstop jokes.
It's good option. Again, I think the key is interacting. I hear Talma raising her hand.
I got to tell you, all great ideas. I personally come here to read into somebody's business and meet the people in the room. I personally am not looking for another mastermind opportunity. I'm looking for opportunities to know who's in the room so that I can reach out personally after the fact to connect with them, to get to know them better and do the jokes and all. I mean, again, Tony, I love jokes. You know me, I'm down for a good joke. That's not my point. But I really miss getting to know who's in this room today with us. And that part is what I really miss. Knowing who's here and what they do and what's going on in their world. That part I really miss since we have been virtually.
So Telmar, let me throw it back for a moment. So if we use breakout rooms where we had, whether it was a topic that a group tackled, but 5 or 6 people as opposed to 30 where you could really interact, or just social time or some hybrid of that. Is that a sort of a compromise, if you will, between truly meeting in person?
I defer to the group on what they want. I'm looking just to know who's here and what they do. I'm not looking for this meeting to facilitate that connection. I'm looking to take on that responsibility myself. And identifying that, oh, Deb and I work in the same space, so Deb Cohen and I should connect further, right? And so on and so forth. Or I'm looking for marketing, so I should, that kind of thing. I loved hearing who was in the room, and that's how I decided to follow up with through my business or my personal interests after the fact. But having said that, if everybody else is looking for this meeting to deliver a mastermind, shared experience, connection type thing during this meeting, that's fine. I really like reading into the business and connecting with the people individually outside of it. That's me, doesn't mean it's everybody else. Is that helpful? Did I answer your question, John?
Sure. No, okay. Absolutely. Other comments? Please read the chat room because folks have been terrific in typing out thoughts and reactions. Great feedback. So, Justin, I think we get to turn it maybe back to you or Jen to just wrap up. We've almost hit 10 a.m. Happy hour?
Happy hour already, yay. 5 o'clock somewhere. All right, so the upcoming events information, you can see them on the slide. There are some de-stressing and how to boost our immunity stuff tonight. And then there's how do you market in a time like this? I'm actually delivering that talk tomorrow through MEC Fairfax. And Friday, there's a discussion around how do you get back to business and what does that look like in the new normal? If we go to the next slide, just a sense of upcoming presenters. So for folks who have applied, you'll be hearing from us today on sort of next steps. And then as we look ahead, we have KMC Empowerment next week and then the Thomas Law Office after that. If we do keep this to sort of 1 presenter a week, what I would ask of the group is if you have a sense of topics that you may want to have us cover, whether it's in this meeting or someplace else, please make sure you drop that in chat. We do have presenters booked through June 17th. So, and then we still have 3 to schedule. So we're really looking into July. So please make sure, spread the word, ask people to apply, recommend. And if we needed to, if we're open to the idea of having more than 1 business present in a meeting, we just want to be respectful that having 1 business to dive into is really powerful. I'd hate to have to split that time because we love giving our attention. Today was a little bit different because we had past prisoner updates, which I thought was really awesome. And of course, both were really sexy with yachts and then food. So please ask people to apply. Please continue to share. And if you have other feedback or ideas, just let us know. I will send out the chat to the folks in this call, and I will also email out the chat from last week. Apologies for being remiss and slow to do that. Thank you, everybody. It was awesome seeing all of your faces. Thank you for all the great questions and insight. We appreciate your feedback. We don't have clear steps for moving back in person, but your input today is really helpful and will give us food for thought as we figure that out moving forward.
Thank you, everyone. This is great.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Great to see everybody.
Yeah.